Alright guys, time for another fanfiction idea, and this one I've been kind of letting roll around in my head for a bit. It's just been kind of like festering in my brain for a bit, so I thought, fuck it, why not? I will do this as its own story. And that is an Ultraman Gravity Falls AU. And this is called Ultraman Cipher. So, Ultraman Cipher is like I said, a Gravity Falls AU with Ultraman in it. So you're probably wondering, well, how is this going to work? Well, I will tell you. So, the story begins with the Pines twins coming to, Gravity Falls, and it starts out as normal. It starts out like the original adventure. But during the night, the twins see a light in the sky. They basically see a massive light in the sky, and it comes down, and it's a giant kaiju. It's a giant monster wreaking havoc and attacking Gravity Falls. But out of the shadows comes the Ultraman, and they're like, "Holy crap, that's Ultraman!" And like Mabel's like, "Holy crap, that's Ultraman! What's he doing all the way from Japan to here?" And Dipper looks at him, and it's like, That's not Ultraman. Like, that's not the at least that's not the Ultraman from Japan. This Ultraman is different. For starters, he's yellow and silver. He has a triangle-shaped regulator. And he also has his beam attack that does that. Like, he has to look through his eye and fire, and with a triangle beam. So the monster and this unknown Ultraman do battle. The twins get curious and get close, especially Dipper. He gets a little too close to the fight, and what happens is during the fight, Ultraman is wounded by the kaiju. He does destroy it, but the timer on his chest starts beeping, and he turns back, and it's revealed to be Stan. Stan was the Ultraman, and he's like, "I'm getting too old for this shit." And Dipper's like, wait, Grunkle Stan, you're Ultraman? Or what are you? You're not, like, do you know the Ultraman in Japan? And he's like, "Look, kid, I'm gonna be straight with you. There's a lot you don't know, and I'd prefer it if you didn't tell everyone." So, Stan puts his beta capsule back in his suit and wants to pretend like nothing happened. But, of course, the Pines twins are curious about it, and they keep pressing him until Stan is like, "All right, fine, I will tell you what's going on." So Stan explains that ages ago he had a brother, Ford, and the both of them went on, fun adventures and whatnot throughout their youth, but eventually Stan was interested in the outer reaches of space. So, and especially interested in what was going on in Japan with all these kaiju attacks and alien attacks in Japan, and more importantly, who protected them from those monsters and aliens? Ultraman. So, so they became curious and were trying to reach out into the ether. What they did discover was they did discover the Land of Light. And of course, the Ultras of the Land of Light were none too happy at the thought of being discovered. So, what happened, like how Stan explains it next, is that the father of Ultra came to Earth and was like, "Humans, you have desecrated the sanctity of the Land of Light, especially you, Ford Pines. But I'm willing to overlook this matter if you do something for us." And Stan and Ford were like, "Sure, okay, what did you want us to do?" So the Ultra Father explains that there is one among them, well, there's two among them that are kind of, shall we say, rapscallions. One is being Belial is being dealt with. But there's another they've captured, and he's more of a mischievous being who has no real regard for humans or other lesser life. And that one, his name is Cipher. So, yeah, in this continuity, Bill Cipher is an Ultra. So the Ultra Father gives has trapped Cipher in a beta capsule and gives it to Stan and Ford. Basically, like, they will he will merge the two of them with Cipher, and they'll fuse together to become an Ultraman and protect and become America's protector and the Western Hemispheres. Whereas, the Ultraman guards East, this Ultraman will guard the West. And for a time, they were doing good as Ultraman Cipher. But, however, Ford was more curious about the great cosmos as it was, eventually trying to build a universe, a gateway to the Land of Light. When suddenly, out of there, he didn't reach the Land of Light. He instead reached a darker nebula and was kidnapped by Belial. Belial reached through, took him away. So Stan now had to bear the brunt of using the beta capsule and becoming Ultraman all by himself. And eventually, he can only do it for so long, and his body's he can't do it. He's getting older, and it was already taking a toll on him when he lost Ford. So now he's just I don't know how long I can be an Ultra for much longer. And Mabel gets the idea. It's why don't you give it to Dipper and I? We could we could contain Cipher. And Stan's like, kid, no. So eventually Stan relents and gives them the beta capsule and basically says, look, you two will have to merge your consciousness with Cipher and work with him to contain that body. Now, the timer, you'll be able to hold on to being Ultraman for no more than 10 minutes. So you got 10 minutes to deal with whatever threat comes your way. If you don't, the timer runs out and you'll split away from each other. So it's kind of like So it's very much like Ultraman Ace, where it's two people fusing into one being. And he's like, also, don't tell anyone. He's like, but Wendy and Seuss, does Wendy and Seuss know? And he's like, no, and I prefer to keep it that way. You know how hard I've tried. Stan explains, do you know how freaking hard I've tried all these ages to keep the U.S. government out of my taxes, let alone my to get their hands on the beta capsule. And God knows if they let the beta out, if they destroy the beta capsule, Cipher gets out, and God knows what he'll do if he's not, if he's left to his own devices. So keep it as is. So another monster shows up, and Dipper and Mabel, they use the beta capsule, they fuse and become Ultraman Cipher. They do battle with the monster, and they're actually doing really good. But this time around, there's something weird about it, because there's someone else watching. There's a person floating in midair, observing them, and the Ultraman Cipher looks at him and is like, "Who the fuck are you?" And the guy's like, "You'll know in time. For now, you may call me Sigma." So Sigma just teleports away, and and Dipper and Mabel are like, well, that was weird. Should we tell Stan? They're like, yeah. So they tell Stan. He's like, I never met a guy named Sigma. Just keep your eyes open, kids, because if there's one thing I know, these aliens got these grandiose plans. So from there, Stan begins keeps teaching them to how to better fuse with Cipher, how to fight, how to use the Tri-Beam. The Tri-Beam, and how to use other abilities, how to fight, things like that. And throughout, they continue to train and grow as as fighters. However, Sigma becomes more and more aggressive by sending both aliens and monsters alike to Earth, until eventually they do battle with Sigma himself. And it turns out Sigma is Ford. It turns out what had happened was that Ford, when he was taken by Belial, was sent to a dark nebula and essentially corrupted by its energy. And it kind of left its mark on him for being trapped there for so many years. And coming back, he wanted to come back to help Stan. But as he saw, the world had changed so much, and now he's just like, mankind's just a stain. They need to go. Like, they legit need... humankind is just the worst. They gotta go. Like, I'm sorry, but they gotta go. So... he even tries to convince Bill as he's like trying to call out to the beta capsule. He's like, Bill, as they call him, because Stan reveals we called him Bill to make it fun of him, but also it was better than saying Cipher all the time. He's like, Bill, my old friend, you understand this. You always hated human life, but Bill stands with with the Pines, and leading to the three of them fusing again to Ultraman and doing battle with Sigma. So the battle between Sigma and Ultraman just rages for, it rages out of control, going into, they fight all the way to Seattle. Like, the battle goes to Seattle. But the thing of it is, Ford reveals when he's Sigma, he doesn't have that timer. The Dark Nebula energy that he has in his body keeps regulating his spacium energy, whereas, you can only do this battle for, I'd say about 5 more minutes, and what happens if you can't beat me in those 5 minutes? So the three of them agree, we're running out of time, and we can't beat him in less than 5 minutes, so what do? And that's when Dipper comes up with the idea, is we blast him with everything we got, and, we take this battle off-world, and see if we can maybe blast him into the sun or something. He's like, but that's our great uncle. And he's like, I don't think that's been our great uncle since the start. So, Cipher grabs... Bill also agrees, it's maybe if we hit him with everything we got with one last hit, we can take him out. So, Cipher tackles Sigma and sends him flying. They both go flying into space, uses the tri-beam, and actually said, Mabel's like, the entire time we've been like this, there's always something I wanted to say, and Dipper's like, what's that? Suacha! So they blast him into the sun, and the timer runs out, and they're about to unfuse when the Ultra Father returns, takes them all down to Earth, and is like, you've done well. Cipher, you may return to the land of light. And Cipher's like, cool, but if it's all the same to you guys, I kind of want to stay here. He basically says, I kind of want to, this place is kind of cool. Is it all right if I just, kick it around here, if it's all the same to you? And they're like, very well, Cipher, you may stay. So Ultra Father leaves, and Ultraman Cipher continues. So there you go, guys. Just a fun, weird AU I wanted to do. I was like, could I do a Gravity Falls Ultraman crossover? Yes, I can. There's others. I didn't want to make this fanfiction video too long, like the Star Trek versus the Forces of Evil one. I wanted to just kind of give, the big notes. There's other stuff I would have done, talk about, Dipper trying to hide, trying his best to hide his identity as Ultraman from Wendy while trying to look cool. He's like, yeah, Ultraman's really cool. I'd even have it that Wendy does have some anger towards Ultraman, because during one fight with an alien, that's what kills her mom. She was killed during a fight between Ultraman and a monster. Seuss is basically... I would also have that Seuss reveals that he always knew, but he's like, dude, you never asked if you were Ultraman or not. And Stan's like, I hate when people say that. If you knew this whole, just frickin' say it. I hate that whole justification of it. So Gideon would also be revealed to be working with Sigma, and a few other things. But those weren't really important. I didn't want to make this video too long. Maybe I'll do this again in the future and kind of brush it up a bit. Who knows? Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of Ultraman Cipher? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.